Hey everybody, my name is Lou and this is my 2020 Promaster van. Purchased it back in January with the intention of converting it out into a camper van, and today I'd like to give you a tour of the van. As I give this tour, I'm going to do a review of several of the products that I put into the build of this van. I'm hoping to help out other people that are building out their vans and help them to decide whether or not they want to do the same thing or try something different. So without further ado, here we go. So the first thing that you notice when you open up the door of the van is the refrigerator. Now this may seem like an odd place to put a refrigerator, but it serves two purposes for us. First off, we like to cook outside, and then second off, it blocks trip hazards, which I will show you in a second. So I created a case for the refrigerator, and inside we just have a dual zone fridge. You've got the fridge area up here, and then this area over here you could use as a refrigerator or as a freezer. As I said, it's a nice design for us because we can just open it up and access food from outside, which is where we do most of our cooking, or it's easy to access from the inside. As you can see, it's right next to the galley area. So this is the view of the inside of the van looking aft. I think they call this a rear dinette design, probably because there's a dinette in the rear. But I decided to go with this design because it offers a very stable table. You see a lot of vans out there with like the lagoon tables and things like that. And my goal was to take this on the road and use it for working. I get to work remotely. Nice thing about this is it's very compact, and with doing it this design, you can do cabinets up above. So as you can see, I've got 6 cabinets up above, all of which are really deep and open up nicely. And it's fairly quick to convert into a bed. Let me put the camera down and show you that. So the next area I'm going to show you is going to be the galley area, and with this we used a Dinette cooktop. I love / hate this cooktop. As you can see, it's flush and flat with a countertop, which is one of the reasons why I like it. It's right next to the sink, so you can easily go ahead and wash your dishes and then set them on top of here to dry. The downside is what you can hear here. So it had 2 little rubber grommets up in this corner and down in this corner, and those are very easy to lose, and well, we lost them. So every time we get on the road, we have to go ahead and take this out and put it inside the sink. But other than that, it's a great little cooktop. See, other things that we've got going on in the galley area, just your standard sink. We got filtered water. Highly recommend that for anybody. I personally hate having to use plastic bottles and think that we're just destroying the planet with them. Up above, you've got a set of dishes. Did a custom rack for this. I did it so that you can slide the dishes down in. Basically, you don't have to have as much horizontal space doing it this way. And then it's just easier to go ahead and stack your food and your glass and things up there. So forward of the galley area, you've got the bathroom area. And this is one of the reasons why we put the refrigerator here. Down here, it's covered up right now, but that's actually the shower pan. So let me open this up and let you take a look at it. So if you need to use a restroom, all you do is you open up the counter and open up the door. And here we've got an airhead composting toilet. Went with this because it's not supposed to smell, and it's supposed to be easy to maintain. I haven't used it for number 2 yet, so we're still waiting to find out on that. One thing which we have noticed, they come with a urine bottle, so it diverts the urine into a bottle and you just take that to a toilet or dumping station and dump it. If you go ahead and get this, get a 2-gallon. Um, this is the 1 gallon, and I drink too much water. I fill it up in the course of a night. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and show you the shower. Normally, you don't have to crouch down to get to it. I'm just doing that for the sake of not having a camera person to move the camera for me. To use a shower, all you have to do is to go ahead and open up the drawbridge, and then open up the cabinet for the shower, and voila, you've got the shower. Back here, got a shower curtain, which goes ahead and goes all the way around. And hold on, there you go. Inside, of course, got the toilet. And if you're going to go ahead and stand in here, got the little shower nozzle. Basically, you rinse yourself off. I'm not going to give a tutorial on how to take a shower. Alright, so next I'm going to talk about storage. A lot of people don't like the rear dinette design just because there's no huge storage space in the back. A lot of people will actually raise the bed up and then have storage space underneath that, and you could put like a bike back there or some bulky object. I did it differently. I basically got a bike rack for the back of the van, and then if I go into sketchy areas, I'll pull the bike inside. Anyways, back to storage. The neat thing with the rear dinette, as I pointed out before, you've got the overhead cabinets, and didn't quite get that right. There actually is something in one of the cabinets. I've got a microwave going on up here. So yeah, I only have 5 overhead cabinets with this design. But down below that, you've got a set of drawers. I'm not going to open them all up, but you know, you've got the closes, or the latches that keep them closed. And then over here, you've got basically a bunch of other cabinets. My goal when I built this out was to keep these free and clear, and sometimes, you know, life is what happens when you're making other plans. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. In this cabinet, back behind stuff, you've got the propane tank. This cabinet completely got corrupted. So this back here is a Furrion hot water heater, and that was basically the only place that I had to put it inside the van. So that's where it ended up going. Once the hot water heater was here, I had this space over here left over, so I put an additional 5-gallon water jug here to store water inside the van. This actually turned out to be very fortuitous, in that it's the easiest way to refill the water in the tank that's below the van. Basically, I've got a pump that just sucks the water out of this tank and pumps it into the tank down below. So instead of trying to balance this and pour it into a gravity feed, it's just easier to you know, I just have it out in the middle here and suck the water and pump it into the other one. The other thing that's nice about this is this instantaneous hot water heater from Furrion is not really instantaneous. It takes it about a minute and a half to actually get things up to temperature. And in the meantime, if you don't have a place to put the water back, you're wasting all that water. And you know, if you have a camper van, you know that you don't carry that much of it. I mean, with this 5-gallon tank, I've only got 15 gallons. So this turned out nice because you follow that hose here, it goes back into the tank, and I can just recirculate the water from the hot water tank. It'll actually heat up the water in this tank and then use that for showering. I'm not too worried about it when I'm just washing the dishes. But yeah, lost out, you know, a lot of my storage space because of hot water heaters and propane tanks, but you know, it is what it is. You have to make accommodations and, you know, adapt as you go along. So one additional space for storage when you're doing the rear dinette design is going to be underneath the benches. So here, underneath the main bench, You've got one big giant chest, and right now we've got a couple folding chairs inside of there. As you can see, you can hold a whole bunch of stuff, especially if you're doing long trips. And then in the back here, you've got a big giant chest as well, which is where we keep our bedding. So we just go ahead and store our bedding back in here and then pull it out when we're making the bed. So at this point I'm going to show you some of the systems in the van. This is the control for the Webasto heater. Went with the Webasto heater. It's a gasoline heater, just because it's one less fuel source than you have to get. Really wanted a propane heater, but I couldn't find the Propex heaters in the United States, and I couldn't find one small enough for a van like this. So went with the Webasto. Up here you've got the solar charge controller. Shows you how much solar is being made. It's a cloudy day right now and it's only like 10 watts. Got some USB and a 12 volt. But looking forward, this is actually underneath the bed. I've got the electrical cabinet. In here, we've got 4 80 amp hour sealed lead acid batteries, 3000 watt inverter, all those sorts of nice and electrical stuff that you'd want to see. Neat thing which I did with this is got a couple relay switches going on. So this relay switch cuts off the inverter, and these two will switch between shore power and inverter power. So up here, this tiny little switch actually allows you to select between shore and inverter power, and will automatically turn on and off the inverter. And it's a neat idea for somebody else if you guys are looking to set up your electrical system. So this is what the van looks like at night. Just wanted to give you a quick view as to what the lighting solutions were that I implemented. And yeah, so you'll notice that behind the cabinets, or actually underneath the cabinets, I've got some strip lighting, and that illuminates the wall. Of course, you got the puck lights up here. Back by the bed, you've got a couple reading lights. Main purpose of those, I mean, we use tablets and things like that for reading, so we don't really need the reading lights, but it's just nice to have something that you can turn off right next to you when you're going to bed. Got dimmable switches here. These are kind of cool. You just press them to turn them off, and if you hold them, it dims, and if you press it again, I didn't know if I was going to actually like these, and they did turn out pretty good. I do like them. I was afraid that when I reached in to turn them on, because they're not very tactile, that I wouldn't be able to find them, but they turned out pretty good. Anyways, that's it for lighting. For evening entertainment, I've installed the Kodak Luma 350. It's a digital projector, projecting on the opposite side of the van to a blank banner that I purchased off of Amazon. It's just held in place by a couple of hooks. So hanging off the back of the Luma 350 is a Google dongle. If you order a TV or a projector for your RV, I recommend getting one with Chromecast. It's the easiest way to cast video to any sort of visual device. So this is the Luma 350 in action. So we're sitting here just watching a video. It's not quite completely dark outside, but it's pretty much mostly dark. And yeah, it's been a nice little addition. We can watch movies while we're camping, as long as we download it to the phones or tablets ahead of time. Just want to say thank you for watching this video. If anybody makes a van tour video, chances are they actually want to build vans for a living, and I can't say that I wouldn't want to do that. Don't know if I'll ever do it, but hey, it's a start. Wanted to give a shout out to all the people that I watched on YouTube with their instructional videos. 70 Savage is one that I've probably watched the most. There's a couple others. I'll try to leave some links down in the comments below. And at this point, just want to say, life is short. Go have an adventure.